Joining us right now to talk about her team is Michigan women's basketball coach Kim Barnes Arico. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, Sam.
Glad that you could join us as always. So we have come to the end of the regular season, and it's time for a little reflection, Coach, because we know that this was a transition year, and I know the season isn't over, but at the start of the year, I don't know how many people really expected a team with so much youth and so much turnover to go out and compete the way that you did, but you finished the Big Ten regular season with an 8-8 record as you head into Big Ten tournament play, and a team that's found some things. You found some maturity along the way. I know at times there was some youth where you showed some signs, but you battled all the way through, and that includes last weekend versus Penn State.
Yeah, it's been a special year. I think I've been very impressed with our team and just their resilience, their ability to work incredibly hard, their ability to focus, their ability to grow and to buy into our culture and really want to create something special. And anytime you have a young group of women that are coming together, you're never sure what you're going to get. And they're winners. You know, they really believe that every time we step on the court, we have an opportunity to be successful, even though they've never been in those situations before. So it's been a special season. We've had some great wins along the way. We've had some tough losses along the way. But really, we've been competitive. I mean, we had a tough one at Nebraska, but that's a really hard place to play. I mean, Penn State went there and had a tough one as well. Other than that, we've been competitive. We've either won or been in a close game in every contest this year. So I think, obviously from a coaching standpoint, you want to win every single one. But I think that we have improved, and I think that we are still continuing to get better. And, we've done some pretty special things this season.
All right, so, Coach, before we start talking about what's next for you in Big Ten tournament play, let's reflect a little bit upon the game against Penn State. We know Penn State is one of the best teams in the country. For much of the early going, it was nip-tuck. I think, neither team got more than 4 points away from the other, and then they went on a run heading into the break, showing you just how good they are. I think it was a 9-point lead for them at halftime.
Yeah, the game was back and forth the first 10 minutes of the game, and I thought our team did an excellent job. And I thought, that's another atmosphere at Penn State that is tough for, first timers to be in. It's a packed crowd. It was their senior night. They had a lot of stuff going on. And I think, just the environment and Penn State went on an incredible run led by their senior class to finish that half. And we talked about doing the little things and how little things make such big plays. And, it's funny, I watched our men's game when we got back from that and saw how our men made some big plays down the stretch. Jordan Morgan taking a charge, Spike getting a loose ball, getting a jump ball, and how those were different makers at the end of the game. And I thought we had an opportunity at the end of the first half. They subbed Maggie Lucas, who's one of the, player of the league in our conference. And they subbed her back in with 2 fouls to go the length of the floor with 7 seconds. And I thought we had an opportunity to step in and take a charge, and we didn't at that point. And just how different plays like that can really change the outcome of the game. So we're really trying to continue to work on just, those little things and attention to detail. And when the game's on the line, making sure we get big stops and making sure we get big plays. And I think it comes with experience.
It was an atypical game for Saisha. I wonder was it early foul trouble that kind of knocked her off kilter in the game?
Definitely, Sam, and that's been something that we're trying to work on, too, with our bigs, because I think they get so nervous. They pick up their first foul, and then they get tentative, and they get afraid to play. And then, the other team's bigs really start taking advantage of us because we stop defending because we're so afraid of picking up the second foul. And her second foul was questionable. I think it was a loose ball, and I'm really not sure. It could have gone either way. But she picked up her second foul early, and we had to take her out of the game. And I think that really definitely had an effect on her. And I think that's another sign of a young player, one that can't really adjust to being in foul trouble and one that really has to change her game when she's in foul trouble. So I think that will come the more experience that she gets. But that definitely had an impact. We had 3 players. We had Saisha, we had Val, we had Nicole that all had 2 fouls in the first half. And obviously that changed the complexion of the game.
Talking to Michigan women's basketball coach Kim Barnes Arico here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTK.com. Bright spots, Coach. You You got a really, really strong game from Shannon Smith, 21 points in the contest with 3 assists to go along with 4 rebounds. And, she even got saddled with some fouls there with 4, but was able to battle through it. And then Madison was big for you from 3-point range, going 4 for 6.
Yeah, Shannon's been playing great lately. We've been doing a better job of finding her in the open court. She's been doing a better job of attacking. And it's great to see her playing really well right now. And Madison is becoming more and more consistent, knocking down the open shot. She's doing a really good job of coming in for us and being able to score, which, we have Sierra Thompson, who's kind of been struggling a little bit from outside. So now we have Madison coming in and being able to knock down that open shot. So that's really good to see. I think, at different points in the year, different people have kind of hit the wall, so to speak, a little bit. And now we're hoping to be able to bounce back and have a great upcoming week. And it was the first time, I know you and I had talked about it, we hadn't had a bye all season long until last week. So last week was a bye week, and this week is spring break. So it's kind of given our players an opportunity to rest their legs, to mentally get back, and also to get some extra time in the gym where they can get up some shots and get their touch back. So it's been a good timing for us right now.
All right, so Coach, coming up on Thursday at 6:30, you will face Indiana, a team that you just beat a few weeks ago. Down there in Bloomington. We talked about the game. It was the game after the metal fell from the roof, and you went down there and handled business. So talk to us about, kind of reflect upon that game and to kind of give us a preview for that contest. And then if you win that contest, I know you don't like to look past the next one, but if you win that contest, you have Michigan State, and all of us remember how close that game was and how contested that game was when they came here to Chrysler.
Yeah, Indiana's a young team. They're very similar to us, except they shoot about 25 to 30 threes a game. So they're very streaky. If they're hot, it could be trouble. It could be dangerous. So we need to make sure that we close out. We need to make sure that we contest their shots and we pressure them and don't really give them open looks, because if we do, they can knock down some threes. So that should be an interesting contest for us. We played pretty well against them the first time. We were able to get out and transition, so we got to look to be able to do the same thing on Thursday. Like you said, we never look past an opponent, and Indiana is obviously our most important game of the year. But Michigan State is coming off of a tremendous year. Obviously, they were just named Big Ten champs, co-Big Ten champs with Penn State. They had a tremendous season, and that's a program that, when I first got here and even before I came to Michigan, that, I always admired and has always been successful and rich in women's basketball tradition. And that's one, we aspire to be and we're reaching for. So that's always a great challenge for us. And we had a great game with them here. The rivalry is so intense. Our kids would be so fired up and excited for the opportunity to get to play them again. But obviously, in order to do that, we got to get past Indiana first.
Yeah, Coach, that's the thing with young teams, keeping them focused on what's right ahead as opposed to what's 2 steps ahead. So you got focusing on Indiana as opposed to looking ahead to Michigan State. And then, I don't know how much I don't know what the bracketology kind of says, but as far as NCAA tournament goes, do you kind of have a bead on what they're saying about how many teams from the league are going to make it, or how many you think should make it, and where does Michigan kind of sit in that discussion?
Well, I try not to follow it too much. I try to focus on the next game, but I think, we would have to win a couple games in our tournament. I think our league has shown its strength throughout the year, and I think our league is getting better and better every year to be one of the best in women's basketball. So I think we're at least going to get 6. So we're we're right on the bubble right now, and I think, going into our tournament, we need to maybe win a couple games in the Big Ten, and that will definitely help.
Gotcha. All right, last thing I want to talk to you about, Coach. I see that you were named an assistant coach for the USA Basketball Under-18 team last week, so quite an accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thanks, Sam. I'm super excited about the opportunity to be involved with USA Basketball. It's always been a dream of mine to represent our country and to get to work with some of the country's best young kids as well as best coaches. So it's a wonderful opportunity for me, and I'm really excited about it.
All right. Well, Coach, good luck down in Indianapolis again, folks. The Wolverines take on Indiana Thursday at 6:30. If they win that contest, then they face Michigan State in the quarterfinal on Friday, also at 6:30. So, Coach, again, good luck, and we will talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Sam. Have a great day.
All right. That was Michigan women's basketball coach Kim Barnes Arico. Kind of laid it out there, for Michigan, postseason beyond the Big Ten tournament, for that to be the NCAA as opposed to the WNIT. Couple of games in the Big Ten tournament. And these are games that are winnable. They've beaten Indiana, and that game against Michigan State really was anyone's for the taking down the stretch. So certainly a possibility for the Maize and Blue. We got to get to a break. When we come back on the other side, we will talk to Greg Harden. There'll be a special coming up on him tomorrow. We'll talk about that. One of the men behind, he's the man behind the men, I say, and women in the University of Michigan Athletic Department. We'll get to that on the other side here on the Michigan Insider. Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, the official voice of University of Michigan Sport.